Today is the 7th of March, 2025. My head is spinning. It's Friday and I've just finished another week. And when I parked the car this morning, I just tapped the car off a wall in front of me as I was parking. And then as I was reversing, I don't know how, but I just managed to loosen kind of a plastic, like on a bike you have a mud guard. It's like a kind of a guard plastic underneath, and as I was leaving Manosque, this thing was loose and it was banging off the ground. So I'm driving and I can hear, so I had to stop just after I left Manosque, and in the end I tried to fix it once, but it came loose again, so I had to pull it off completely, this piece of plastic, which may be important and maybe protecting. Tuco, what are you doing? Ali, what you smelling there? I'm worried he's eating some crap. Ali, it may be protecting the car from some kind of, from stones or anything bouncing up and smashing something important underneath. But that kind of freaked me out. Just my nerves are a bit shot when it comes to driving anyway. And so the last thing I want is to be having fucking noises banging around in the car and wondering is something going to explode any minute. And having to pull over. So yeah, so there's that, and then I got a voicemail about going for some kind of an interview for Pearl Almond. And although I shouldn't really give a shit about this because it's just a nice experience to do an interview, and like Flo said, she kind of thinks it's probably more important I carry on with the French, even if they're going to offer me something. But still, there's just a kind of because of this whole boulangerie thing, there's just an association of kind of doom with all of this stuff for some reason. So at the moment, like I said, my head is kind of spinning. I also got a word from the Boulangerie Ange, a very kind of formal, kind of bizarre email to say that the paperwork had come in and I was to arrange an appointment and go and see them one morning, and bizarrely at the end of the message it said, bring back clothes washed. Don't have any, but that in itself triggers, of course, more kind of fucking doom, because the Boulangerie will forever be associated with a fairly grim time for me. There is no good memories there. And I guess right now the other thing, I'm just kind of knackered because like happens quite a bit. The morning goes well, but when you get after the lunch break, it can start to really get in on you. And this particular class, I don't know why, but we seem to be sitting around just waiting for like an hour. I don't know what the teacher was doing. And then that trip home and my nervousness about driving, all that stuff is just kind of, and then having to try and pick up this check from the Boulangerie, I don't know, everything is a little nerve-wracking. I don't really want to drive again, but I could do with a big plate of mince now, I think. Something like that, a big plate of some food, and then I know something like that will kind of sort out your mood for you. By the way, there's a gale blowing. I don't know if you can hear that in the machine or not. So yeah, and my eye is seems to get quite irritated sometimes during the class. But I'll let you go. But that's it. That's life. And Flo did say that, well, I suggested I take her car on Monday. Even though I prefer mine, because her car, the other Clio, I find it's a bit big. But I think if I take my time, I'll just be fine driving that. And then she can bring this other thing to the garage to check if that mudguard or whatever it is can be replaced, or if the guy said it's not really important. That's it. Yeah, I feel anxious again. It's funny the way that comes and goes. It's like a nervous anxiety, but not for any specific thing, you know. It's not because I'm going somewhere and that's the cause, you know, on the post-it. It's a more general kind of angst. Angst is the word. That's a good word to describe. Kind of wonder sometimes, because the times we're living through now, it's funny, if we all thought that COVID was bad, there are moments nowadays when I see a headline on the newspaper, or I hear someone talking, and it fills me with more anxiety than the whole COVID thing ever did. Because we seem to be in a time that is just so unpredictable, and I don't want to use the word insane, because that doesn't really help with my anxiety. What's that, Tuco? What's the little stick? Goodbye. Sometimes I wish I was like Tuco. He doesn't it's not affected by anything. But I think there's probably people like me who are affected by the goings on of Trump and Putin and China and Ukraine and tariffs and the language being used. We've never kind of heard of it before, like the dismantling of NATO, the notion of Europe having to create an army and weaponize Ukraine. It's all really depressing stuff. I really hope some kind of deals are reached and things settle down for the next 20 years, and at that point I probably won't give a shit anymore what happens, although I don't know. I don't know if that'll ever be the case. So yeah, I'm out with Tuco. We're walking back. See, there's a car in front. I think they're looking after the horses. I guess. Anyway, that's shall I keep talking? The engine is running in this car. I don't like that. This is going to pick it up. Yeah, you kind of think in a mood like this, a good big stew type dinner would calm the nerves. I know what else would calm the nerves. Can't really do that though. Ali. Ali. Good boy. We're going back to flow. A stiff drink, it calmed the nerves. That's actually the way I feel now. Is kind of perfect, kind of. It's not too different in a way to the feeling I had in Marbella at the time. Kind of a nervous tension, and I know that a little 6-pack of beer right now would certainly take the edge off. You know, actually, the way I feel right now, I could really, I could murder a can of beer and a second one just to get to a point, because I know it would help. Just to give me that false courage and a sense of tranquility for a while. Just for a while, of course. The next day would be terrible. But those days are behind me. And next best thing is either a meal or maybe even a cup of tea. Just to kind of try and snap you up, because these things, they come and go. The moods, you know, they descend on you and then suddenly, and they can also depart suddenly as well. It's not exactly an unfamiliar feeling, I suppose. That much, in a way, is a comfort. You think, I've been here before, I can deal with it, I can I can sit with this feeling. I know it passes. I'm glad it's the weekend, I guess. If I had this feeling and I had to drive tomorrow morning again, that may make this particular evening a little more stressful. Thinking that it was all to happen again, but at least I'm off for the weekend, and luckily I don't even have to drive to the boulangerie because I'm going with Flo. She has to have something done, so I'll go with her. And I'd like to think that will be the end of my fucking business with the boulangerie. I will never go there again, I don't think. Even if I'm desperate for bread and it's the only place open, I don't think I'll go there. I'd like to be done with it. Kind of saga has just dragged on for so long. Anyway, I'm coming to the road. It's just a little bit of history there. Very quickly to disappear into the, well, what would you say, into the what? I can't think of anything. Into the something of time. Into the distant past. Right now I'm walking and my feet are hitting the ground and I feel it in my legs and the wind is in my face. Two goes right in front of me. I'm thinking about the road ahead. I'm thinking about tonight, but of course, listening back, it's just something from the past. Stop, Tuco. Adios.